Alright, what's up guys, man? I got a great video for you guys here today. The Titans and Ravens game is about to start, so I figured we would show you guys how to stop Lamar Jackson in Madden. Now, it is very, very difficult to do, especially if your opponent knows what they're doing. With Lamar Jackson becoming such an absolute beast this year in real life as well as Madden, he has just been wreaking havoc. Man, he's so hard to stop, especially out of the Panther playbook, Gun Panther heavy, as well as the New Orleans Saints Taysom Hill quarterback package formation with the QB blast in there, as well as just, there's a couple other formations, Wildcat and stuff like that. We're not going to go over those. We're going to go over the main two, though, Taysom Hill package and Panther heavy. Show you guys how to contain him, force turnovers, because like I said, he is very, very difficult to stop. So our goal is to contain him, make our opponents make mistakes, run into hit stickers and enforcers, and force a ton of fumbles. Which, Lamar Jackson is fumble prone. He can definitely take hits, but he is going to cough it up. If your opponent is running, more than 15 times a game with him, he's definitely going to fumble. Show you guys exactly how to set that defense up to force those turnovers. I think he's easily the MVP this year as well as the NFL. If you guys agree with me or you guys beg to differ, go ahead. Let me know in the comments below. Drop a like on the video as well as subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. With that being said, let's go ahead, jump into the game, and show you guys how it's done. Alright guys, in the first part of this video, man, I'm going to be showing you guys how to stop Gun Heavy Panther out of the 3-4 odd formation. We're here in the Dolphins defensive playbook. Dolphins is my personal favorite in the game. I think it has the best variety of defensive formations. It also has that big dime 1-4-6. If you guys have watched my past videos, you guys know I love the 1-4-6. It has the best splits in the game against passing formations. But against running formations, I love to be in either 3-4 bear here, which is a great defensive formation as well, or the 3-4 odd. For this video, like I said, we're going to be in the 3-4 odd going against the Gun Heavy Panther. Now, the Gun Heavy Panther, if you guys have played this year, you guys know it is super, super annoying to play against. It's an offense predicated around, consistent 4 to 5 yard gains, grind down the defense. Lamar Jackson almost never fumbles on conservative unless he runs into an enforcer, which is why we're using the Seahawks as well in regs. If you're playing Mutt, man, go ahead, slap enforcer on Sean Taylor or Willis, and you're going to go ahead and force a ton of fumbles on quarterbacks. Enforcer's really the only person that can make a quarterback fumble unless they're tired. Then they're more likely to be fumble prone. But with that being said, let's go ahead, hop into the 3-4 odd here, and we're going to come out in pinch dog 2 press. Now, another note I wanted to quickly make was I decided to go no face cam for this segment of the video. I had some criticisms in the past video. K-Mac, we can't see the quick adjustments on your screen with your face cam up, so I figured I would just have the face cam for the intro, and then afterwards for this segment of the video, no face cam. All you guys see is the gameplay, and all you guys hear is my voice. That way I can communicate the information as clearly as possible to you guys. That way you guys can learn as quickly as possible, get out here in practice mode, practice it, get down that muscle memory, take it into a game, and then hopefully shut down your opponent. Now, it's very important that you guys do practice every tip video that I put out, because if you go straight into a game, man, it might not work right away, because you're kind of looking at your notes, you're kind of looking at my video, trying to set it up, and you're just going to be slow with it. So you want to take it into practice mode, take it into a game versus a buddy, practice it a few times, get that muscle memory down so you're moving more quickly and you're able to set it up fast in game so you're not getting quick snap. Okay, so now the reason I prefer this defense right here, again, it's the pinch dog 2 press 3-4 odd formation in the Miami Dolphins playbook, is because it is super simple to set up. Now, QB blast, you can quick snap insanely fast. So for that reason alone, we want a defense that is very, very simple to set up. And we got exactly that with the pinch dog 2 press. Alright guys, let's go over personnel real quick. I forgot to mention that. Now, as far as personnel goes, you guys want your best linebackers here in the middle. We're going to go ahead and put, actually, Clowney. You cannot put Clowney in the middle here in the linebacker position, so we'll put him on the outside here on the left. Clowney right here with secure tackler, and then we have Bobby Wagner with enforcer, and then we'll put just, it doesn't really matter who we put here. Try to put guys with decent speed here on the edges. The nose tackle can just be, kind of your typical beefy D tackle like Vita Vea. Outside guys can be a little bit quicker, maybe like Strahan and Mutt, or, it doesn't really matter too much. The linebackers are far more important here. The corners, you want your 2 best corners on the outside, and you want your fastest safeties up top. The safeties are pretty important as well. You guys are going to be using the safeties, and they're going to be your last line of defense. So if they do happen to get by the linebackers, it's going to be Lamar Jackson versus your safeties, and Lamar Jackson most of the time is going to be way faster than them. So you want at least decent speed to hopefully make a play and prevent the big touchdown. So that's the personnel I like to run for the pinch dog 2 press. Let's go ahead, hop into it, and see what it looks like versus the QB blast. Okay, so by default, the QB blast is a run that is centered up the middle. However, if your opponent is very, very patient in the pocket, very patient behind the line of scrimmage, they can easily bounce it outside. So this is a defense where we have to be very patient. Now keep that in mind when I talk about our user here just in a second. But it's a very simple defense. Like I said, all we're going to do is base align, which is Y and right on the left stick. And then we're going to go ahead, tap LB or L1 if you're on PS4. And then RB to QB contain. This is what our player art looks like now. And then what we're going to do, our last step, is take Clowney and just drag him up about 5 yards. Do the same thing with Kendricks. You don't want to really go higher than that. You want them to still be in their contains. And then we're going to take our safeties down here. You can actually put one of them in a spy, or you can put both of them in a spy as well. You don't have to put them in spies, but if you have the time, definitely go ahead and do that. That way they're just going to go ahead and take better pursuit angles down towards the run into the box. Let's go ahead, snap the ball, show you guys what it looks like. If we try to bounce it outside here, Clowney's right there, instantly sheds the block on the contain, and because he has that secure tackler, he makes a nice warp tackle. Okay, so I showed you guys that it's very good against bouncing it outside. Let's go ahead and set up the defense again, baseline, contain, put our safeties and spies, and let's see what happens when we go ahead, instead of trying to bounce it outside, because this is very good at funneling everything in the middle. Let's see what happens if we would just try to run straight up the middle here. Run straight up the middle. We end up fumbling. We get hit by a linebacker. We recover it. So we got a little decent gain there. We probably got about 4 yards. When you're funneling everything to the inside, it's almost impossible to go ahead and avoid hit sticks, especially when we have somebody like Bobby Wagner in the middle patrolling the field. He's going to be just lining Lamar up, absolutely clocking him and forcing fumbles. Again, guys, this is a bend but don't break defense. So, our opponent's going to get a little bit of gains here and there, but for the most part, we want that to happen because we want him to get to the second level where we have our hitting safeties, where we have our hitting linebackers, and force turnovers. A lot of people who do run this offense, man, they want to get real sticky with it. They want to bounce it outside, make some people miss, and take huge crib shots. But with this defense, we're funneling them to the inside, making them grind every single yard, and then just waiting for that fumble, just being patient. Now, another thing I want to really note here to be careful with is when your opponent snaps this ball and you're clicked onto your safety, which is who you want to be using, you want to be very, very patient, man, because if you play somebody who's really good in this formation, they will kind of walk up to the line of scrimmage, wait till everybody kind of commits to that center of the field, and then quickly bounce it outside. So you want to be very patient, man. You want to be almost as patient as they are. Kind of creep up, follow them, mirror them, and then as soon as they pick a side, go ahead, pick a side. Don't click off against the quarterback too, man. I know it can be difficult. Don't click off unless you have somebody like Sean Taylor, who is just an all-around beast with enforcer and secure tackler and unfakeable. If you don't have somebody like that, man, do not click off. You can easily get faked out or dummied out by them stopping going. So watch this. Let's go ahead, snap the ball, and we're just mirroring. There we go. Make them run right into a contain. And, it's easy, man. It's easy. Like I said, bend but don't break defense. Set it up one more time. Baseline, contain, drag the guys up, and then we're just going to go ahead and mirror with our safety. Remember, we put this guy in a spy, and then we use the other guy. Let's go ahead, run it one more time. Mirror. Run straight up the middle. Kind of stumbles forward for a few extra yards, but like I said, Bobby Wagner is in the mix in the middle there. He's going to get a lot of hit sticks, and we're going to force our turnovers. And especially against an offense like this, man, it's super difficult to play from behind. So once you get a turnover, and as long as you're efficient on offense, your opponent's going to be playing from behind. It's going to be extremely difficult for them to score. The Ravens receivers aren't good. The passing plays aren't great out of this formation. And the Carolina playbook in general is not that great. So we want to force those turnovers, make our opponent play from behind when that clock is ticking, and we're going to be putting ourselves in a great position to go ahead and win football games. So that's all I do against Gun Heavy Panther. Now we're going to go ahead and go over Gun Taysom Hill QB Blast. Okay, so we're going to be going over how to stop the Gun Taysom Hill package now out of the Saints playbook. It has this QB Blast, which is very, very effective, man. I'm sure you guys have seen this. This is kind of like a newer meta. The Saints playbook is very, very difficult to stop because now with this new addition of this QB Blast, they can run it almost like Heavy Panther, but they also have the freedom to go ahead and audible to formations like Gun, Y off trio weak that has PA post dig shot, and gun tight offset tight end, which has the wild halfback swing. Now, if you're in 3-4 odd, it can be very difficult to stop these passing formations, just because linebackers are not good in coverage this year. They don't really react or jump, which is why 3-4 odd just isn't great against the pass. I would much prefer to be in a set like nickel normal, where we get an extra DB, where we have a lot of different play options here that we can call, and just put ourselves in better positions to stop the pass if they do audible to him. Now, you can run 3-4 odd against a gun Taysom Hill package, and it's going to be more effective than this in stopping the run. But like I said, if they audible around and they're decent passers, it's going to be very, very difficult to stay in that 3-4 odd and get stops. Now, you could blitz out of 3-4 odd, send the whole team. You know, if you see them audible, go ahead, audible to pinch bug 0, send the whole team at them. If your opponent knows how to chop block, though, you're going to be in for a long day. I do like to do light blitzes, but I'm not really a send 7 type of person anymore. I love to play coverage. I'm a big believer in making your opponent make a read, because they're going to make mistakes throughout the game. A lot of people in this game aren't good at passing because they're so reliant on this run-heavy meta. They're just not comfortable passing, man. So this is why I like to play coverage. I don't like to make it easy on them and just give them free touchdowns by sending the whole team. So let's go ahead. Play good coverage, man, and nickel normal allows us to do that. Nickel normal is one of my favorite formations in the game. It has some great match coverages as well, and it has pretty good D-line sheds too. So let's go ahead, set our audibles. I'm going to have cover 2 man. I'm going to switch that to go ahead and go to palms, which is a great match defense. Tampa 2, we're going to change to cover 2 sync to get those default soft squats, and then we're going to change cover 6 invert. Probably, let's go ahead and change that to man coverage. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come out in double safety blitz here. Now, I'll show you. You guys are probably wondering, why would we come out in double safety? Like, why would we want our safeties to blitz? I'll show you guys in just a second. Let's come out in that gun Taysom Hill QB blast. Let's come out in the double safety blitz. Now, as you can see, they walk into the gaps, and then when we audible, let's go ahead audible to palms and see what that looks like. See, when we audible to palms, our safeties are literally right here on the line. They're already completely in the box, so we don't have to personally drag them up there, which is great. You know, obviously against the run, they're going to be there to help with that run support immediately. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, pinch our line, crash outside, and then contain. So our defense looks like this. We crash outside by going left on the D-pad, up on the right stick, contain LB or L1, and then RB or R1 to QB contain. And then we can pinch our D-line as well, left on the D-pad, down on the left stick. This is what our player looks like. So we have decent coverage out here. We have match coverage, and then we have everybody in the box. We can sit on this linebacker, or we can sit on the safety. I'll just sit on the linebacker for now. Let's go ahead. I'm actually going to hop on the corner on this far left. That way I don't interfere with anything. We're going to go ahead, snap the ball, try to run, see what happens. So right there, completely plugged. And it's completely bagged, man. We could try to bounce it outside. Let's see what happens if I do try to bounce it outside. Let's audible to cover 2 man this time to see what that looks like. Pinch, contain, and then we're going to use our safety here. Now, it's hard to really fully emulate this in practice mode because I am using 2 controllers, and I obviously can't user it and steer my quarterback at the same time. So the user is a huge part of this. Like I said in the first part of this video, you want to be very patient with your user. Wait for him to commit to a gap and then follow him. Don't try to shoot him in the backfield every time, man. You can live with small gains. Don't be overly aggressive with your user. Just wait for him to make a move, mirror him, make that secure tackle, and go on to the next play. Like I said, this is a bend but don't break defense. We want to force turnovers, and sometimes giving up consistent small gains is the sacrifice we have to make to do that. Let's go ahead, snap the ball, try to bounce it outside, and see what happens. Now, it's going to be hard, like I said, because I am on my safety. Let's go ahead and just hop on the corner again, actually. So this time we try to bounce it outside, and Shaq Griffin is there. Shaq Griffin is insanely fast. This is why fast linebackers are very, very important. 2 fast guys in the middle, very fast guys on the edge. We're able to go ahead, secure that edge. And as you can see, we definitely did have a bit of a lane there with Lamar Jackson. Shaq Griffin was really the only person that could prevent us from getting to that edge. Like I said, it is hard for me to emulate my user. The user is probably the biggest part of this defense. Alright guys, so that's how you stop the gun Taysom Hill, or at least contain it. I don't like the word stop for this style of offense because it is such a difficult offense to stop, especially with how dominant Lamar Jackson is. There are a couple of things that I want you guys to remember, man. Be very patient with your user. Your user is the most important part of this defense, and I wasn't able to show it very well or demonstrate it very well because I can't steer my quarterback and control my user at the same time. It's very difficult, but this defense is pretty good, without a great user, and then it's great defense with a great user. You want to be patient, man. Wait for them to make a cut, especially if they're kind of just walking up to the line. Be very, very patient. Don't get overly aggressive with it. Don't try to blow up your opponent's run in the backfield. Let them get a couple yards. Make that secure tackle with your user. This is great, man. This is great practice as well to get that user better, get better at making tackles so you don't give up huge runs. And like I said, your opponent's going to fumble, man. If they consistently try to juke you out and run into hit stickers, Bobby Wagner there and Reg, Sean Taylor and Mutt, he's going to fumble. Sometimes, man, you will get those games where your opponent just won't fumble. He'll eat like 15 hit sticks a game and just won't fumble. That's not that common, though, man. That's just going to be unlucky. There's nothing you can do about that. But this is a bend but don't break defense. We want to force turnovers, make our opponents play from behind with offenses like this that aren't built to play from behind, put them in uncomfortable positions, and go ahead and win ourselves games. Now, I hope you guys really enjoyed this mini video, man. If you guys have any comments, questions, feel free to leave them below. Please subscribe and like as well. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday, man. And I'll see you guys in the next video.